All right, the other big story we are tracking, it's been 79 years our nation gained independence, yet even after 7 decades, in many places across the country, people with outdated mindsets have not evolved. On your screens now, we'll just pop it up, you see 4 victims of one of the most horrifying issues of dowry. All these women were assaulted by their husbands and in-laws for dowry. Some of them ran to save their lives, others died trying to fix things. Let's take a look at these stories one by one. First up, Nikki Bhatti is a murder case. We all know the story by now. Repeated demands of dowry, abuse, limiting her movements, her access on social media, ultimately, allegedly burnt alive. Let's look at what's happening in Jodhpur. A woman named Sanju and her 3-year-old daughter were found in a suspicious burnt condition at their home in Rajasthan. The cause of her death was assault by her husband, again, over dowry demands. In another dowry-related abuse case in Madhya Pradesh this time, a 23-year-old girl, Khushbu, escaped just in time after her husband tried to allegedly tie her up, torture her and insert a heated knife into her mouth when she cried out of pain. Meanwhile, a 33-year-old woman was found dead under suspicious circumstances in another district in Telangana. The victim, identified as Lakshmi, was reportedly subjected to alleged starvation, physical assault, prolonged confinement by her husband, Naresh Babu, and in-laws for additional dowry. What exactly is happening there? Why have we got the plot so wrong? And how has dowry become such an acceptable norm in our society? And mind you, not just in our villages, not just in Greater Noida, even in the most affluent areas where we perhaps don't hear of such severe outcomes. So here are the 5 questions that we are asking on dowry. Why does the conviction rate in dowry-related cases remain abysmally low? Despite the existence of laws like Section 498A, the Dowry Prohibition Act, etc., why is it so low? Number 2, under the law, is giving dowry as much a crime as demanding it? And if yes, then why haven't we reported of these cases? Why have we held them accountable? Number 3, dowry also a problem with the educated elite. We don't hear of these cases. They're often called gifts. They're often called love, with which things are being given, gifts are, granted. Is that also illegal? Why is silence still the norm by neighbors, relatives, or even friends who witness signs of dowry-related abuse but stay mum, say nothing? And what mechanism, importantly, is in place to ensure fast-track courts handle dowry death cases with urgency? In fact, even dowry cases with urgency, so it doesn't lead to the person losing his or her life over there. So those are the big questions that we are tracking. Let me bring on our guest now. Karuna Nandi, senior advocate at Supreme Court, joins us now. I don't know where to begin with these stories. These issues, as a woman, as a wife, as a mother, it enrages you at different levels. But my question is a more legal one to you, Karuna. When under the law, even giving dowry is as much a crime, why don't we see enough noise about it?
The trouble is that this has been going on for so long, and this is so deeply embedded and endemic in our society that the news essentially got bored of it. So what happened is that when the men's rights associations emerged, and they started saying that, oh, look, there is this one case here, and then there is this one case there. And they started talking about the abuse of 498A. And there is abuse of 498A. Firstly, let me be clear about that. But it is tiny, tiny subsection of what is actually the reality of this country, right? But when oppression is oppression is a habit, then equality feels unconscionable, right? So therefore, then what happened, I think, is that it all became about the abuse of 498A. And this has, for better or for worse, influenced the court system. It has influenced the way the court system approaches this. We must recognize that the police also emerges from the same society that we are all from, and the same kind of patriarchy, right? And the same kind of misogyny, and the same घर की बात है, घर पे रहने दो. So
Adjust kar lo.
adjust kar lo. So even if you look at this particular situation, which has only grabbed the headlines because of the not just because of the extreme violence of it, because that's actually quite common, but because that extreme violence was caught on camera, because it was a media. Because also she was very beautiful. You had a little boy involved who spoke up. The normal everyday cases, the thousands of women who are being blackmailed, tortured, even killed, short of this, are not reported. These cases go to court, sometimes with insufficient evidence, and it is said, but why dowry? Even in this case, there's no allegation of dowry, by the way. I mean, in the sense there are many allegations of dowry, but the police, I'm told, has not in the FIR mentioned the provision that deals with dowry from the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita.
The law, then that would book the parents of the girl as well. So there is a bit of a complication there. But Karuna, you're right when you say that in most of these cases, these instances barely, forget reaching the courts, they barely reach a situation of a complaint. If a girl, and I believe it's perhaps, I don't know if there's a right way to say this, but perhaps the parents of the girl are also to be questioned here. To say that if you are not going to stand by your child, if you're going to ask her, adjust kar lo, ghar hai, nibha lo, if you're going to say stuff like that, then there is no outlet left for a girl or a victim in this case to even speak up, to demand justice.
Let me explain to you how the law works here in this area. You have the Dowry Prohibition Act. So there's Section 3, which is the penalty for giving or taking dowry. And this is if any person after the commencement of this act gives or takes or abets the giving or taking of dowry, then shall be punishable, right? So you are not wrong when you say that there's a complication here. There is. However, this, to be fair, provision is very rarely used against the parents. You know, whenever it is used, on the rare occasion it is used against the in-laws who have taken the dowry.
I
right?
see.
However, difficulty is this. The difficulty is that because the provision exists, it's very difficult for the people who have given the dowry to make the complaint.
Yes.
Because then, you know, they are also implicated. So then who's going to make the complaint?
It's a catch-22, yeah.
So I think the law here is not well designed, and it definitely. I would not blame the parents of the girl at this time when she has been murdered in this really brutal way, right? Systemically, though, we also must understand that when you have parents who are giving money and giving dowry to the other party, they are doing it out of a sense of compulsion, right? Like it's like giving hafta to the neighborhood bullies because you think you have no other option. You are giving hafta, you are giving like a ransom in the hope that your child is going to be kept safe. Even in this case, the allegations are, we don't know whether they're true or not, we'll have to see, but widely reported allegations are that they gave a Scorpio SUV.
Yeah. But they wanted a Mercedes. Yeah.
But they wanted a Mercedes, exactly, that they gave a lot, right? So why are they doing this? They're doing this out of a sense that they have no option, right? If they thought that there was this wonderful boy somewhere and they had an
I
option.
know, I agree with you. That's what I was saying. There's no
wrong.
nice way of saying this because, you understand the situation perhaps in which the parents of the girl are in as well. But Karuna, I want to ask you this. In your experience of having heard of these cases, dealt with these cases, if a young bride today is watching the program right now, can't go to the husband, can't go to the in-laws, can't go to her own parents or even friends who will help. What is the way out for them? What should they be doing as of now?
I think the question is really before that. This question comes prior to that, prior to who the young woman consents to being married to, or who the parents decide to marry their
Well,
child to. And we have to be really clear that this system of ransom, where you are giving good money and putting good money after bad and hoping that it's going to work out well,
yeah.
is never going to work out because you're giving money to criminals. So, okay, so the girl, by definition, they are criminals, right? So you are not guaranteeing that there's no guarantee that your child is going to be murdered, thankfully. But there is a guarantee that this kind of money you are giving is going to be associated with the value of this girl.
Yeah.
And that the girl marrying this person is not enough. So
Yeah.
therefore, you're marrying your child to criminals, or you yourself are consenting sometimes to be married to criminals, or people who have that mindset, even if it's posited as gifts or love or whatever. And so therefore, I think being very clear about not doing that and saying that I am going to make sure that this girl is as educated as possible, has a job, any kind of decent work. Because look at the labor workforce participation rate today, it's extremely low. It only went up to about 30% when suddenly this government decided to include laborers who were working, not laborers, women who were working on their own fields, of their family fields, right?
Yeah.
That's the whole. Otherwise, it's gone down dramatically from the 90s. So therefore, do not get married in situations like this. There are people out there who are happy to get married for legitimate reasons, non-criminal reasons, and otherwise
In a good world, love.
do not get married.
And
Look,
can I add to that? A lot of
Sorry.
times, right in the beginning, when you're about to get married, it doesn't come as a demand. It comes layered with out of love or something that you would do just to benefit the child. This is for your well-being. It comes wrapped in different shades like these, or this is just the ashirwads that the parents are giving. So be wary of all of these things. It's just conditioning. Ultimately, it is a dowry that is being asked for. So thank you, Karuna, for joining us and laying that out for all our viewers. I really hope even one person caught up in a situation like this can listen to this conversation and perhaps benefit from it. On